Prelims.
Dinayakataka, in which one of the following regions was Dinayakataka, which flourished as a prominent Buddhist center under the Mahasainikas, located Andhra, B. Gandhara, C. Kalinga, D. Magadha. Answer. Dinayakataka, also known as Dharanakota, is located in present-day Andhra Pradesh, India. It was a prominent Buddhist center under the Mahasainikas.
1:26.
Stupa. With reference to ancient India, consider the following statements. 1. The concept of stupa is Buddhist in origin. 2. Stupa was generally a repository of relics. 3.
Stupa was a votive and commemorative structure in Buddhist tradition.
How many of the statements given above are correct? Only 1. B. Only 2. C. All 3. D. None. Answer. B. 1. The concept of stupa is Buddhist in origin. Incorrect. The word stupa is mentioned in the Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Vajrasenya Samhita, and Taittiriya Samhita. Rig Veda refers to a stupa raised by the king Varuna above the forest in a place having no foundation. The word stupa is also used in the same sense in Rig Veda. Probably by then anything raised on the ground like a heap pile might have been known as stupa. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. 2. Stupa was generally a repository of relics. Correct. One of the primary purposes of stupas was to house relics, which could be physical remains, like cremated bone fragments, or objects associated with the Buddha or other revered figures. Examples: the Sanchi Stupa in Madhya Pradesh, India, houses relics of the Buddha. The Great Stupa at Barhat is believed to have contained relics of the Buddha's bowl and robe. 3. Stupa was a votive and commemorative structure in Buddhist tradition. Correct. Beyond housing relics, stupas served as devotional and commemorative structures. They were built to mark significant events in the Buddha's life, such as his birth, enlightenment, first sermon, and parinirvana, final passing. Additionally, stupas could be built to honor other Buddhist figures or commemorate important events in the religion. Examples: the 8 stupas built by Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BCE at various locations across India mark significant events in the Buddha's life.
2:26.
Korkai, Pompuhar, Mukir.
With reference to ancient South India, Korkai, Pumpahar, and Muchiri were well known as A. Capital cities, B. Ports, C. Centers of iron and steel making, D. Shrines of Jain Tirthankars. Answer. B.
Korkai, Pumpahar, and Muchiri were all well known as B. Ports in ancient South India.
Ports. Korkai, located in present-day Tamil Nadu. It was a flourishing port during the Sangam period, 300 BCE to 300 CE, and played a crucial role in trade with the Roman Empire, especially in pearls and precious gems. Pumpahar, also known as Kavaripatinam, situated at the mouth of the Kaveri River, it served as a vital link between the interior and the sea in Tamil Nadu. It had extensive trade connections with Southeast Asia and the Mediterranean, known for spices and textiles. Muchiri, also known as Muziris, located in present-day Kerala. It was a major port on the Malabar coast and a vital link for trade routes connecting the Mediterranean and the Red Sea to the Indian Ocean. It was famous for its spice trade.
3:26.
Vadakarudal. Which one of the following explains the practice of Vadakarudal as mentioned in Sangam poems? Kings employing women bodyguards. The learned persons assembling in royal courts to discuss religious and philosophical matters. C. Young girls keeping watch over agricultural fields and driving away birds and animals. D. A king defeated in a battle committing ritual suicide by starving himself to death. Answer. D. The practice of Vadakarudal as mentioned in Sangam poems is D. A king defeated in a battle committing ritual suicide by starving himself to death. Here are some points to explain this practice. Meaning: Vadakarudal, also known as Vadakarath or Vadakarudal, translates to facing the north and refers to the ritual suicide practiced by Tamil kings during the Sangam age, 3rd century BCE to 3rd century CE. Reason: this act was performed to preserve honor and avoid the humiliation of being captured by the enemy after a defeat in battle. It was seen as a way to die with dignity and uphold their martial code. Examples: in the poem Puranayuru 21, the poet Nakiran describes the king Nenan choosing Vadakarudal after losing a battle. Another example exists in the Ekananyuru 240, where the poet Mangudi Mirudan portrays the king Nidunjalayan engaging in Vadakarudal after facing defeat. It's important to note that while options B and C might represent elements of Sangam society, they are not directly related to the specific practice of Vaticanrudal, which focuses on the ritual suicide of defeated kings.
4. 26.
Dynasties in early 8th century, 701-800 AD. Consider the following dynasties. 1.
Hoysala. 2. Galdovala. 3. Kakatiya.
4. Yedava. How many of the above dynasties established their kingdoms in early 8th century AD? Only 1. B. Only 2. C. Only 3. D. None. Answer. D. None of the listed dynasties. Hoysala, Galhadavala, Kakatiya, Yadava established their kingdoms in the early 8th century AD, 701-800. Here's a breakdown of their establishment periods. Hoysala dynasty, established around 1006 AD. Galhadavala dynasty, established around 1026 AD. Kakatiya dynasty, established around 1083 AD. Yadava dynasty, established around 757 AD, but reached significant power only in the late 10th century AD. Therefore, the answer is D. None.
5. 26. PYQ Prelims.
Literary works and authors in ancient India. With reference to ancient Indian history, consider the following pairs. Literary work author. 1.
Devichandra Gupta. Bilhana. 2. Hamiramaya Kavaya. Nayachandra Suri. 3. Milinda Panha. Nagarjuna.
4. Nidivakayamrita, Somadeva Suri. How many of the above pairs are correctly matched? Only 1. B. Only 2. C. Only 3. D. All 4. Answer. B. Pair 1 is incorrectly matched. Devi Chandraguptam is the Sanskrit play of Vishakhadeva, Vishakhadatta. It's the story of Gupta king Ramagupta who decides to surrender his queen Dhruvadevi to a Shaka invader, but his younger brother Chandragupta enters the enemy camp disguised as queen and kills the enemy. Pair 2 is correctly matched. Hamiramaya Kavaya is a 15th century Indian Sanskrit epic poem written by the Jain scholar Nayachandra Suri. It is a legendary biography of the 13th century Chalhamana king Hamira. Pair 3 is correctly matched. The Milinda Panha, also known as the Questions of King Milinda or the Debate of King Milinda, is a famous Pali Buddhist text written by Nagasena, also known as Nagarjuna, that is considered part of the Theravada Buddhist tradition. It is a dialogue between the Indo-Greek king Menander I, known as Milinda in Pali, and the Buddhist monk Nagasena. Pair 4 is correctly matched. Somadeva Suri was a South Indian Jain monk of the 10th century CE. Somadeva Suri also wrote the Nidivakayamrita, Nectar of the Science of Polity, a treatise on statecraft. The text of the Nidivakayamrita mentions that Somadeva was also the author of a literary work called Yashastilaka.
6. 26.
Religious philosophy. Souls are not only the property of animal and plant life, but also of rocks, running water, and many other natural objects not looked on as living by other religious sects. The above statement reflects one of the core beliefs of which one of the following religious sects of ancient India: A. Buddhism, B. Jainism, C. Shaivism, D. Vaishnavism. Answer. B. The statement reflects the core belief of B. Jainism. Here's why. Jainism believes in the principle of ahimsa, non-violence, extending it to all living beings, including plants, animals, and even seemingly inanimate objects. Jain philosophy considers everything in the universe to possess a jiva, soul, which is a conscious, embodied being with the potential for liberation. This belief extends to elements like rocks, water, air, and fire, which are seen as possessing rudimentary life forms with subtle senses and the potential for liberation. Here are some examples. Jain monks and nuns wear masks and meticulously sweep the ground before walking to avoid harming even the smallest insect. Sweeping the floor is considered an important practice, not just for cleanliness, but also to minimize the harm caused to tiny life forms. Special filters are used on their drinking water to avoid harming microorganisms. This belief in the omnipresence of souls and the practice of non-violence sets Jainism apart from other major religions like Buddhism, Shaivism, and Vaishnavism. Buddhism, while emphasizing compassion for all living beings, it doesn't necessarily attribute souls to inanimate objects. Shaivism and Vaishnavism focus primarily on the worship of specific deities and don't hold the same all-encompassing view of souls as Jainism.
7. 26.
Vijayanagara Empire. Who among the following rulers of Vijayanagara Empire constructed a large dam across Tungabhadra River and Canal Aqueduct several kilometers long from the river to the capital city? Devaraya. B. Mallikarjuna. C. Veeravijaya. D. Virupaksha. Answer. B. Devaraya constructed a dam on Tungabhadra and irrigated cities and villages with canals from this dam.
8. 26.
Portuguese in medieval India. Who among the following rulers of medieval Gujarat surrendered Diu to Portuguese? A. Ahmad Shah. B. Mahmud Begharha. C. Bahadur Shah. D. Muhammad Shah. Answer. A. C. Early in the 16th century, the Sultan of Gujarat, Bahadur Shah, came under immense pressure when his kingdom was invaded by the second Mughal emperor Humayun. At that juncture, he decided to remain on conciliatory terms with the Portuguese, who had arrived in India at the end of the 15th century, and were at the time an energetic and ambitious maritime power. In 1534, the Shah signed the Treaty of Bassein with the Portuguese, ceding Diu to the latter, as well as other territories of his empire such as Vasai and the islands that today form Mumbai. The Portuguese obtained Daman from the Shah in 1559.
9. 26.
Constitutional development under British rule in India, by which one of the following acts was the Governor-General of Bengal designated as the Governor-General of India? The Regulating Act. B. The Pitt's India Act. C. The Charter Act of 1793. D. The Charter Act of 1833. Answer. D. Charter Act of 1833. This act was the final step towards centralization in British India that made the Governor-General of Bengal as the Governor-General of India and vested in him all civil and military powers. Thus, the act created, for the first time, Government of India having authority over the entire territorial area possessed by the British in India. Lord William Bentinck was the first Governor-General of India.
10. 26.